What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about Forspoken one more time before the game releases. I guess bearing review scores. If review scores drop the day before, 2 days before, I guess it comes out on a Tuesday, so that'll be tough. When the review scores drop, I would like to cover them, kind of see what people are talking about, see what the score actually is. But before that, let's do this kind of one more time, talk about this game. And I come at this, maybe a little bit different than you've seen other people. I come at it from a perspective that I really want this game. I tweeted it a few days ago, and then you get mixed vibes back of people saying, Alex, it's just going to fail. Or then you get, hey, I'm excited for it too, right? You get a split thing. And I think that makes sense for Forspoken. We've talked about it time and time again. This definitely seems like a split game. But you'll like it or not, this is the first. I guess you had Fire Emblem. I don't want to discount that because that's gigantic. So I guess for PlayStation, let's say, this is the first big one, right? It's a big title for PS5, PC, Square Enix. Like, how will they do? And I'm going to still stand on everything that I've talked about in the past. I'm hopeful for this game. I think the combat is going to work. I think if anything in this game is going to succeed, it is the combat. It is the movement. It's how she moves. If there's things that are going to fail, it would be everything else, I suppose. Those are the things that I am definitely a little bit more, kind of sketchy on. But also from a personal perspective, like why I'm very excited for this game. It's something new. Now, I mean, I guess, it's got a little Final Fantasy 15 kind of, baked into it. But, I talk about Dead Space, and you talk about SpongeBob, and even, look at this year, what the games that we've gotten in order. Fire Emblem Engaged is obviously new, but very Fire Emblem-esque. Persona 3 and 4 have already come out, so they're coming out again. Dead Space is literally a remake of Dead Space. And SpongeBob Cosmic Shake is a Battle for Bikini Bottom 2 kind of game. All good for different reasons. I'm excited for all of them, actually every single one I just listed. Forspoken is a different one. I was talking about this on a podcast I do on my second channel, and that's honestly, I feel like it gives it an edge. I don't know in any other areas, what edge I'd give Forspoken over the other games, but originality, just being something that's flat out different, that honestly, because I think its range is so big, it could be an absolute train wreck. It could be terrible. This game could be absolutely awful, all right? It could. I'm not going to throw that idea out, but it could also be surprisingly good to some, or just good if people think it's already going to be good, right? Like, it has, I believe, a wide range, and I think that makes the game very, at least right now, like when review scores come out, if it's getting like 5s, well, then you set, in your head, you're like, oh, God. Or then if it gets an 8, you're like, oh, okay. So I think perception of the game, for some, maybe not others, will change a little bit, at least, when the review scores go live. But for now, in this open playground, it could go in any direction because the story could actually, work. And I guess I say it like that because, again, I am a little concerned about those things. We've talked about dialogue. We've talked about the story itself. We talked about the characters. Some of those I have a little bit more faith in than others. The open world. And I've said it before with the open world, full or not, if it's not full, or it's not kind of it doesn't feel like it's being lived in, right? It's not an immediate death sentence. I know the summit it is, and that's okay. For me, it would put all the pressure then. I mean, yes, you probably dock points, right? Because it's an open world game. There's supposed to be things to do, and if there's not, or it's not exciting, or it's tedious, or repetitive, right? So, as a reviewer, maybe you dock some points. But honestly, for me, if the world isn't feeling like that, it just puts all the pressure for this game to succeed on the other things. The movement better be 10 out of 10. The gameplay better be, amazing. The story, now you really start to, right? If there's no open world stuff, now the story needs to land, now the characters. And I guess vice versa, if the story's not so good, if there is cringy kind of dialogue, whatever ends up happening. But if it's just fun to explore and to fight and to do all these kind of side things, there's balance that can happen here both ways. So, and it can really go any way. You know what I mean? Again, that's why I find this game so exciting. Not just new, kind of an original, ish thing, but also it could really be a wide variety of quality when we get this game. And it is, again, as I've said, Persona, and I'm very excited. In fact, maybe by the time you guys are watching this video, I'm playing Persona. But, I'm excited for those, and Fire Emblem as well. But Forspoken, the first big one. Now, then you got Dead Space, SpongeBob, then you got Hogwarts. So it's got competition. If it doesn't hook me immediately, it's going to run into some, for me, personally, it's going to run into a lot of problems because a few days later, I got to put it down, try out Dead Space, got to try SpongeBob, and then the whole world stops for Hogwarts Legacy, right? So Forspoken really needs to make its mark on me kind of immediately. Otherwise, it's going to join the backlog that I will pick up, sometime in April. You know what I mean? Like that's just what's going to happen. So I am excited though. Like I'm not trying to fake it. I'm not doing it because it's cool to take sides or whatever. In fact, I'm maybe taking the wrong side because I think I'm more excited for Forspoken than not. I think the cool thing to do is just to take the negative side. Not that there's not actual negatives you could find from what we've seen so far. I believe that. But it's the first big game for me, and I really am. I've said it before on different shows or different live streams or whatever. Like I get I get bored, I guess, rather easily. I jump around rather easily, and I've been like waiting for just something new to I'm playing Fall Guys, for heaven's sake. I love Fall Guys, just to try to kill time because I just want some new things. And Forspoken is that new thing. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I'll see you all on the next one.